Okay, so this is now the theme discussion. And the first question are what are 2 to 3 themes of the book? I'd say the biggest theme, well, not the biggest, but one of the bigger ones that I found was hope in the way that it drove Kate throughout the whole story because she had so much hope that her daughter didn't jump that it led her to actually reopen the investigation when Detective Molina had closed it already. And the way that even Amelia also had hope in the way that joining Magpies would turn out fine for her and she'd be able to keep Sylvia and keep all of her friends. So I think hope was a driving influence the whole time.
I would agree with that. And I also thought that a way that Kate showed hope was when she would she'd go with the Lieutenant Lou or whatever and accompany him to each person that they questioned, and she'd even ask her own questions because it wasn't even so much about finding the person who did it as she needed to know for herself.
Mm-hmm. My first one goes off of that. Determination is a key aspect. Along with the hope, obviously, but in the sense that Kate's, when she's pushing the officers and the lieutenant and the detectives to, get stuff done and search certain things, or the fact that Amelia is, so willing and determined to get into the Magpies that she's willing to do things such as posting scandalous pictures of herself online.
Yeah.
And to essentially ruin her reputation in that sense as a young adult. And she's willing to do that all just to get into, a club.
Yeah. A club where 21 out of 22 people hate her.
Well, that and it's going to be something that, once you're out of, or once you're going into, post-secondary and stuff like that, it's going to mean absolutely nothing. Right. But, those pictures and things, nothing on the internet exactly goes away.
Yeah, those are there forever.
So it's just kind of she's willing to do whatever to get into the Magpies, even though it could screw things up in the future.
Yeah. What other themes did you guys come up with?
Parker, what did you do?
I did power of relationships.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, I had that one too. Yeah, I thought even though we talked about this in the other discussion, but the way that Jeremy and Kate's relationship was so instrumental in the first, well, not the first, but in the half of the story that was told from Kate's perspective, where Jeremy was always there supporting her,
right.
And then it turns out he actually was the one who was Amelia's father and all that, and was Ben. But then also the relationship we talked about earlier with Dylan and Amelia, which helped Amelia not freak out over how much Needy hated her and everything. It helped her stand up.
I feel like Jeremy / Ben helped Amelia actually a lot to kind of come out of her shell, and that ended up being detrimental. But kind of had Amelia made a couple smarter choices. Ben could have really been a very influential person in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even though that's pretty creepy, that some random dude is texting you as some other random dude. Vicky was also really helpful in her life, and then he was able to be in Kate and Amelia's lives, but in different ways, but help them both out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of lying to them both.
Yeah.
In terms of he never said anything to Kate, hey, I know that I'm Amelia's father. But then also, obviously, he was lying, saying that he was Ben and he lived in Albany and he was in high school and in all of these things. I think it snowballed a lot.
Well, and that's part of my second theme. I actually went with betrayal.
Ooh, okay.
Because Ben, he's lying to Kate this whole time. Well, Jeremy's lying to Kate this whole time that he is. He's not telling her that first off he knows he's the father. Second, he's in contact with her this entire time, posing as like you said, a younger student, and he's kind of catfishing his own daughter in a sense.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
It just
Or-
makes you really question a lot the fact that Jeremy, who's
Yeah, Jen, just
Yeah.
Jeremy. But like,
the fact that he went, like, how old was Amelia? Like, probably 16.
Yeah.
That means that Jeremy went 16 years being Kate's boss, like, having a close relationship with Kate. And Amelia.
He knew.
Yeah, and, like, he wrote, like, Amelia's recommendation letter to get into the Princeton program or whatever. Like, he had a close relationship with both of them for
That's-
16 years. I never bothered to mention it.
that if I were in Kate's position, I'd be really, really mad. Like, you knew that you were the father of my child, and then you were lying to my child and pretending to be somebody that you weren't.
And like on that like general topic, like the whole betrayal thing. There's like the example of Sylvia. She loses her cool, and whether being
Loses her cool.
well,
Pushes a girl off a roof.
But it's not- it's
Dang,
not
I
like-
lost my cool.
it's not like on purpose. Like she didn't have intent
Yeah,
to kill. She definitely meant to push her clearly, but
And
maybe
to
not
hurt
exactly.
her.
All the way off the
definitely
roof.
to hurt her, but not to kill her. Or there's
And
also.
how tall was their school if you could push somebody off a roof and boom, they'd be dead?
I mean, I feel like someone could die falling off the carrier.
here, yeah.
If you busted your
Yeah.
head, you'd be gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the age. You gotta fall right.
Where it was, yeah.
And then there's the question of whether Dylan was really betraying Amelia throughout this, because if she really cared about Amelia, she wouldn't be, putting her through this stuff to get into the Magpies. Like,
Right,
if you
yeah,
actually
yeah,
care
they
about
could
someone, you're gonna tell them not to do stupid things such as
Right.
that.
And if you really care about somebody also, you wouldn't have them join a very questionable super secret club just so you could talk to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd like maybe
Right.
just walk up to them and say, "Hi,
Say,
how are
yeah.
you? My name is Dylan."
I mean,
Yeah, you wouldn't put them through like a
really
bunch
nothing
of
that happens at this school that happens like it would at a normal school, I guess. Like,
I mean, it probably was-
what about the fact
I mean,
that
you don't know that. You just want to know that.
I mean, you gotta
it's
look at
harder?
where is it? I think it's Harvard. There's the Bones or Skulls and Bones or something like that. It's like there's secret societies which are within the colleges, and it's well known. Don't give me that look. It's actually a really big, well-known society. George W. Bush was in it. Like a bunch of very influential people were in like these small societies, and obviously it's not like a big thing because they're in high school.
Right.
But like these things persist
And
throughout
it's-
history.
different when, in order to be in the secret club, you have to do things that are very against your morals.
Yeah.
Versus you just kind of show up to a couple meetings and don't really say anything.
For the next question, number 2, it was find connections. So like other stuff that we've read. I saw a few connections to Shawshank Redemption. Well, for one, there's like a not really in-depth one, but like when Amelia was framed for cheating on her paper, which kind of like was right at the end, which kind of spiraled into her death because it let her.
And such for them.
Yeah, but yeah, so she was being framed for cheating, but then I saw that as just like Andy was framed for murder and then ended up, it spurred the story because then he ended up in jail. So I thought those events were similar.
I had read Orphan Train as my independent reading book. And I said that Amelia was murdered and Orphan Train there was a lot of death and so they both kind of revolve around the loss of somebody. Then I also said that like Amelia's lack of a father made her kind of similar to obviously the orphans on the Orphan Train, but then the girl in foster care.
The next question, which is the last one, I think it's 3, was an example of how this book relates to like life in high school. I thought that it highlights kind of like bullying and cliques because like the Magpies were like a clique to the extreme with the way that they literally left 22 "I hate you" notes for Amelia. Like that's so petty and that's so high school. Like.
Yeah.
I would have gone with I mean, very close to that, but like more towards a lot of like peer pressure,
Yeah, I see that too.
and that goes hand in hand with the bullying because people who try to be in groups where they don't really fit, they get messed with a lot,
Yeah.
and like people of that group try to get them to do things that like they think are funny or would be like funny to see, and it's just like that person trying to fit in with their group, and it's like really harming them in the long run.
And there's relationships too, like dating relationships and friend relationships.
Yeah, this is an obvious one, but I also said like hiding secrets. Like they all hide secrets. Like once Amelia hides secrets from Sylvia and her mom, and I'm sure everyone else in high school does that too. And like maybe like lie to your friends so that you can go hang out with your other friends or like do something else that you think is better.
And even with like Ben, with like he's just completely catfishing Amelia, and like that happens too, like that kind of thing.
But
Like people on the internet have they are too trusting.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of connections to high school because this was kind of like more realistic. Yeah.
Minus the whole, it being a cult.
Yeah.
It's realistic.
Yeah. Other than
that
that.
Spanish club, you guys.
Oh yeah, it's very crazy.
Liar. That's a cult.
Basically
so
the mad guys.
I wouldn't say that part, but they're a cult.
Yeah.
And I think we're done now.